Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast, a show where we discuss tips, tricks and tools to help all Guardians succeed and enjoy playing more. What makes us different? Well, we're not streamers or YouTubers, we just have a passion for Destiny and are dedicated to keeping Guardians informed and up to date with all the latest Destiny 2 news, information and opinions. We encourage your questions and feedback, and you can contact us either by email, twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com, or on Twitter at 2titans_hunter. Now, on with the show. So welcome to the show, everybody. At the moment, it's just Parody and I, because we're doing this really early on Monday morning. So we've had a chance to play some trials, so we can feed back to you a little bit of information on how it's all going. We've also had a chance to look at some extra videos that the YouTubers have put out on how to succeed in trials and a few tips and tricks with that, and a few other extra things that normally would be then included in next week's show. Because there's so much content, I thought if we leave it till the last minute, we might be able to get a few more things for you. So, as I said, Parody and I are here. Sleepy Boy is probably still asleep. We did tell him that we were recording at this time in the morning. It's 7 o'clock for Parody and Respawn, but they Respawn forgot to set his alarm then.
Yeah, we told him, he knew, or at least he responded okay. So we're assuming that's, an agreement of yes, being up early and trying to talk about Destiny.
Yeah, don't be too surprised when some random interruption happens halfway through the podcast. He goes, "We're recording now? I thought it was tomorrow at such and such time." So just be warned. So kicking us off, next week in Destiny, Zavala wants to send a message to the Cabal, and he will need our help to retrieve a weapon from the Vanguard Vault. We also have to continue to upgrade the EDZ Seraph bunkers to unlock additional rewards. And Team Scorched and Countdown return to the Crucible. Yeah. So kicking us off in spoiler territory. So here is your warning now. If you don't want to know anything about the forthcoming exotic quest that we're going to be going on, I thought it might be handy if you know all the steps up front. So we're going to go through them. But this is the last warning. 3, 2, 1. That's it. The Fourth Horseman is going to be our exotic quest this week, kicking off on Tuesday at reset. So the steps are as follows. We have to enter the vault. And apparently there is a secret vault in Zavala's office, and we have to gain access to the vault through this secret pathway. Zavala will call on Guardians to enter his office and find a secret pathway through the tower. And it's very reminiscent of the Leviathan's Breath quest that Bungie sent us on a couple of seasons back. You remember that? We had to go and find this really weird hole somewhere and jump up in it, and it took you somewhere. And of course, people have found ways into the office, and we'll get to that in a minute. Missing in action. So you have to return to Zavala and inform him that the weapon is missing from the vault. I honestly don't understand where these missing weapons are going. It's not like a Cabal could sneak into these tight little corridors that we have to jump in and out of to get to these weapons. So if they've stolen it, I'm not going to be happy. Let's read on. So, fresh lead. We have to see if Anna has some tech to help us track the missing weapon. So, from Zavala, we'll have to go and see Anna Bray on Mars. Players should fly to Hellas Basin on Mars and proceed to go and talk to Anna Bray. On the hunt. So, this is step 4. Collect intel for Anna by defeating Cabal or completing public events on Mars. Anna gives the players the mission to defeat Cabal or complete public events, and players will need to collect 1,000 pieces of intel from Cabal or public events to progress to the next step. We then have to return to Anna and tell her what we've discovered. So step 6, because that was step 5, returning, is in the shadows. Anna will need you to bring some of the information from Callus's double agents in the Red Legion. So we have to defeat Scions and loot Cabal chests to gather it. So players will stay on Mars as they need to defeat Scions and open Cabal chests. You need to collect 50 pieces of data. And the best tip for this is if you do the Madim subterranean lost sector in the glacial drift on Mars. So if you fly into that area, you should keep an eye out for some Cabal chests that are just dotted around just there, or equip one of those ghosts with a treasure hunter perk on it to detect them. And as you progress up to the right around where the lost sector is, there might be a couple of chests up around that way. There's lots of Scions in that lost sector that you could farm, so it's a good spot to do that. So, number 7, under our nose. Now that you've gathered the intel from the Callous agents, see if Benedict 9940 can be persuaded to help. So, from Mars, we need to fly to the tower, specifically the Annex location landing zone, and talk to Benedict, who's hiding on the left-hand side as you're flying, Drifters on the right. Dirty work. So, Benedict needs you to eliminate the encryption signal coming from the EDC. So, we have to defeat combatants, complete public events, and complete patrols. And this again will require 1,000 items to be collected, but this time they are encrypted signals that will come from getting kills in the EDZ. We're not sure if the Serif Towers will count towards the public events, but also there may be a chance of completing heroic public events could grant increased items. Don't know at the moment. Step 9, rein it in. Return to Benedict 9940. So back into the annex again we go. Step 10, lost and found. Benedict has given you the location of the missing weapon in exchange for using the Cabal Slayer to smash the Red Legion. So finally, players will need to clear out the legendary lost sector called the Quarry in the Sunken Isle on the EDZ. And with that, players will receive the Fourth Horseman. Jarv has a video of how to get into the Fourth Horseman office for Zavala, or a location where it will actually be, and then he goes through the steps in his video. I will link that in the show notes.
And then you'll have yet another gun from Destiny 1 back.
Yeah. One that you can, as we said in the I think it was last week, wasn't it? Where a lot of these bosses are now being, you'll be able to kind of deal with them up front and quite personal with swords and shotguns and sidearms and all these close range weapons now being brought back into line that you could actually deal close damage without being stomped away. I mean, there's still bosses that can stomp you away, but Fourth Horseman should help.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that fits into the new world, the less stompy world, hopefully, of Destiny. Although, again, there's so much stompy stuff still there.
Yeah.
It's going to be on new content, but not so much on the old content. But we'll get there one day.
It's nice to have, like we've always said, it's nice to have something new to do each week. And I've seen a lot of negative stuff on Twitter and Reddit, and we're not going to talk about that because we're here to enjoy the game and tell people how good it is and what you can do to enhance your enjoyment.
Precisely. Like, talk about all the new things they changed and patched and moved around since they teased our show notes or our patch notes from last week.
Yeah. So should we run through the update 2.8.0? These will be the items that weren't included in Pass this week at Bungie's, because there's no point in reading just a list of all the changes that we've kind of gone over and we've talked about. It's just probably better if we go over the things that we haven't mentioned.
There's still quite a lot of those too.
There is, unfortunately. Should we kick it off with Titans? So Striker, Fist of Havoc Super. They've increased the cost of the light attack from 11.5% to 12.5%. Bottom tree increased from 3 to 4.5. And they've reduced the cost of the heavy attack from 25% to 21%. Code of the Juggernaut, Frontal Assault. So they've reduced the duration from 15 seconds to 12. They no longer increases weapon equip stability. No longer equips weapon equip speed. Weapon stability bonus decreased from 75 to 44. Don't know how that's going to play out, but we'll see. Code of the Missile. So this is the middle tree with the ballistic slam. They've increased the knockback significantly. Now procs inertia override on hit. So that's where if you slide over ammo, I'm guessing that's the one, isn't it? The inertia override?
I believe so, yeah. I was trying to make notes on this too.
The inertia override is when you slide over ammo. I think doesn't that increase the damage on your next shot, I believe. Now procs inertia override on hit.
Yeah, picking up ammo during a slide reloads your equipped weapon and increases the weapon damage for a short time.
Yeah, so sliding Titans everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So a bonus damage versus low tier. So the PvE combatants is reduced by 20%. So unfortunately, something's got to take a little bit of a hit. With the inertia override, they've added a 0.5 seconds activation delay. Note, this change was made to allow the Titans to make the most of its duration. The ability indicator now displays time remaining. Thunder Crash increased the damage resistance while in super from 49% to 53%. Made flight speed more consistent. Increased the destination damage from 3,200 to 3,900. impact conversion. Reduce the super energy gain per hit from 4% to 3%. So I think this is when you do your little ballistic slams, you jump in there and punch down to the ground, is the impact conversion. So that would get you the super energy every time you got a melee kill with that. So that's been reduced.
Interesting. So they've taken that away a little bit and made the super itself again hopefully hit a little bit harder, because I was playing with it a little bit the other day just in the EDZ, just running around doing bounties, and I don't know, it still just doesn't feel like a powerful super. Like, it's obviously powerful, it'll do some damage, but I don't know, it still doesn't feel like the thing you want to use if you're trying to bring anything down with a lot of hit points. But
well, you say that I'm gonna. It was in my fun things to do part of the tips, tricks, and guides. But
okay.
Bacon Gangster has a Thunder Crash buff to Superman levels video, which shows you what you can actually do with the Thunder Crash middle tree. So if you want to check that out, that's quite interesting to go and watch.
So maybe I'm just doing it wrong then.
I think we are. We're letting the Titans down. So where are we? Sunbreakers. Code of the Devastator, Burning Maul. Reduce the idle super duration from 28 seconds to 25 seconds, which is quite nice because I like to stand around in my super every now and then trying to clock where the enemies are rather than just like run blindly as I normally do. Heavy Slam Explosion is now less likely to deal damage through cover. Less likely or not at all?
Yeah, it seems like not at all in my, again, limited experience playing with it this season, but
they've added damage fall off to the Heavy Slam Explosion, and they fixed an issue where the ground follow attack could go through walls. Have you fixed that, really?
Maybe that ties in with the less likely to do damage through cover. Yeah, because I am happy about the fall off to the explosion, because it seems like it would track you just like a truth rocket before. Yeah. No matter where you went, that fire would find you through walls, through buildings, over the next map over. So it's good to see they brought that a little bit more back into sanity. It's still super stupidly powerful, and it will still, melt people. But at least you don't have to run halfway across the map to get away from it now.
No.
All right, so we've got some changes to our hunters. So our Way of 1,000 Cuts Blade Barrage, the knife impact damage has been increased from 35 to 45. They've reduced knife detonation radius from 5 meters to 3 meters. And should no longer apply large amounts of knockback damage to any tanky components. The Arc Strider, they fixed an issue in which players and Arc staff were able to dodge infinitely even after the super energy had been depleted. So if you've been seeing a lot of constantly dodging hunters, it's not just you. They're doing it. So your Way of the Current, your Tempest Strike. So reduce the auto-targeting angle by 50%, and bonus damage versus low-tier combatants reduced by 20%. Your Way of the Wind, Focused Breathing, increased activation delay while sprinting from 0.25 seconds to 1 second, and reduced the dodge recharge rate by 10%. For your Combat Meditation, they've reduced the grenade and melee charge rates while health is critical from 500% to 400%. The Lightning Reflexes, they've reduced the damage reduction during dodge and PvP from 40% to 32%. And now we move on to the Night Stalker, Way of the Pathfinder. For the Mobius Quiver, they've increased the time from 8 seconds to 10 seconds on the time limit, and increased the time limit from 10 seconds to 12 seconds when using the Orpheus Rig. The Combat Provisions, they've increased the melee range on grenade damage they've increased the melee recharge on grenade damage from 6% to 8%, increased the grenade recharge when you turn an ally invisible from 17.5% to 24%. And if we had a hunter here, he would tell you all about what those changes mean, but none of them seem, none of those numbers look too crazy. But you hunters out there, you can yell and scream that they've done something and now you're unhappy about it. Or, hey, they've made a change and you're happy about it. That'd be a nice change of pace, too. All right. On to Warlocks. For the Stormcaller's Storm Trance, the damage ramp-up now falls off more slowly after releasing Attack Button. The Attunement of Condition Arc Web. As we already mentioned, the Arc Web Grenade are not chaining properly as they should. They've also reduced the chain damage from 36 to 27, reduced the grenade energy recharge on chain, and it is down 1% in PvE and 2% in PvP. They reduced the chain range from 12 meters to 11 meters. So Arc Web Grenades took a hit in addition to them not working at all right now because of a bug. So it should still chain damage. That's a bug, but they've made those other changes to the grenade itself to make it just a little less powerful. The Ionic Blink. They increase the super energy cost from 4% to 6% and reduce the range of blink from 4.5 meters to 4.2 meters. The Chain Lightning Melee. They've reduced the chain range from 31 to 27. Your Ionic Trace for your Attunement of Control Warlock. That's when you defeat your enemies, has a chance to create ionic traces. Collecting the traces grants energy to all your abilities. So when you kill enemies and you get these traces, they've increased the ley line height so it's more easily collected while airborne. They've increased the travel speed by 14% and increased the turn speed by 83%. So hopefully hopefully those traces will get back to you a little bit quicker and you can collect them a little more easily while you're airborne. So if you are doing damage in the air, you should benefit from that. The Chaos Reach, they've increased the beam endpoint radius from 2 meters to 2.4 meters and reduced the intensity of the visual effects to improve visibility, which is a nice change because just like the old hard light that would jump all around when you shoot that thing, sometimes you can't see exactly what you're shooting at. And the Attunement of the Elements, the Electrostatic Surge. It now correctly increases class ability regen when near allies. Note, it was mistakenly increasing super regen previously. So it's taken a little hit to its super regen ability, even though it was never actually supposed to. For your Dawnblade, the Attunement of Sky Heat Rises. They fixed an issue in which Heat Rises buff was causing combatants to ignore you. Well, that doesn't seem like an issue at all. That seems like a perk to me, but hey.
Yeah.
And finally, our Icarus Dash. They fixed an issue where the Icarus Dash cooldown was interfering with the Daybreak dodge.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'll get that.
All right. And there are our changes to our subclasses. Now, does 19 want to tell us about a couple of weapon changes?
I will indeed. He's still not showing up yet then.
Nope.
So our weapon changes. There were a couple that we've already previously gone over, but these are the extra ones. So Fighting Lion, apparently due to a back-end change with the grenade launcher archetypes that we've talked about previously, Fighting Lion's inherent minor adjustment, rate of fire increased from 72 RPM to 90 RPM. Direct hit damage in PvE is now 35. Previously it was 27. That sounds like a good thing, to be honest, especially in PvE. I still can't use it in PvP. Devil's Ruin. They fixed a bug that allowed pyrogenesis to proc in unintended circumstances, allowing the laser to be fired repeatedly. So this was if you held the button down and then took your finger off of it and then pushed it down again, it would just kind of have an unlimited amount of whatever you had in reserve ammo. It would just kind of unlimited load it back into your gun and you could just fire it as a laser. So yeah, that's quite cool. Well, not cool. It was cool. It's not cool now. Symmetry fixed an issue that caused the weapon to randomly stop firing, and they fixed an issue where this weapon could damage allies under some circumstances. That would be quite interesting to use on him in Trials. Just damage him slightly and then send him into battle. We should have done that. Damn it.
Too bad there's nothing you can... Is there anything on a hunter you can proc by giving him a little bit of damage and setting something off?
That would have really triggered him in Trials.
We're helping you. We're just triggering your, whatever. We're proccing that, and then we're sending you into battle, just like loading up with Telesto shots. That's what you should have done to me. You should have loaded me with Telesto shots and just sent me forward shoulder charging in. And
that's what we should do.
Detonating anything.
Why? No, I was shoulder charging. You guys should have just loaded me up with Telesto bullets.
We really should have just sent you in like a missile.
Next weekend, we're doing that.
There we go.
Okay, so weapon perks. Backup plan. Now adjusts impact to match rapid fire sub-archetypes while active. Charge time is now set to match the rapid fire sub-archetypes 0.85 while active. And 1-2 punch, the effect now ends upon dealing melee damage or swapping weapons. I thought it did anyway, but hey-ho. General. Fixed an issue with the emissive elements on the following weapons and ornaments. 1000 Voices, Summer Storm for Risk Runner, and Jade Counterance for Fighting Lion. They fixed an issue where multi-kill clip would remain active indefinitely. I think we had a video about that. Fixed an issue where killing Shanks with Lumina would not reliably generate a remnant. And they fixed an issue where the Wish Ender would deal more damage than intended when shooting through certain objects. Trees.
Trees, plants,
trees.
all of those things.
They fixed an issue where large portions of the Packmaster's command ornament for Lord of Walls would disappear when standing next to a wall. So a bit like Robert Downey Jr. in Sherlock Holmes when he stands next to the wall in his onesie. You can't
Just
see
like that.
me. Yeah.
Identical to that.
Consumables. This was quite interesting. There are 2 new consumables available in the Eververse store for Bright Dust: the Scavenger's Boon and the Glimmer Shard, both 250 Bright Dust each. The Scavenger's Boon, when used, this item causes enemies killed with precision damage to have a chance to drop planetary materials when defeated. The effects last for 4 hours, and note that only 1 Scavenger Boon can be active at a time. And the Glimmer Shard, when used, this item can cause bosses to have the chance to drop additional glimmer when defeated. Again, lasts for 4 hours, and only 1 Glimmer Shard can be used at one time.
That's interesting. I wonder if the additional glimmer is anything worthwhile on bosses. I would hope if it's a boss, it will give you a decent boosted glimmer, so we're not always having to go see Spider for all of our glimmer needs. But see if he has a little less of a lock on that market.
We love Spider. What are you talking about?
We do love Spider, but it would be nice to just, if you need some glimmer to play the actual game, to get the glimmer from him. Or, from it versus going to Spider for everything. I mean, again, not that I didn't go see Spider this weekend to go buy all the glimmer, because I needed it, but just saying, playing the game, getting some glimmer elsewhere would be nice too.
I don't know how that's going to work, because we already have a consumable called the Rainmaker, which is those ones that you can put again for 4 hours, and close range precision kills have a chance to create a shower of glimmer. Maybe it's a little bit. Maybe you get more glimmer. Maybe it's more than the Rainmakers. But hey, I've got like 1,000 Rainmakers, so I might as well just keep popping them every time I play.
Yeah, just put one on when you start the game and see what happens.
Yeah, and then when I play for 5 hours and I completely forget for the last hour that I've been playing without one, I'm like, oh, there's extra glimmer I could have got, extra shards.
No longer making rain. No longer making anything. Yeah.
Would you like to go through our bug fixes and user interfaces?
Sure, we do have multiple bug fixes to various legendary engram previews accurately represent their contents. So the Shadowkeep campaign reward exotic armor now has the proper source string in collections. The Eververse store bundles with prices have been reduced due to owning some content are no longer available as advertised as sale and instead read complete the set. So the Season 8 weapons acquired from the Season Pass will now have a valid source string in collections. The several multiplayer emotes that had a type of emote are now have the correct item type on their tooltip multiplayer emote. The Year 3 exotic armor in Zer's inventory will now properly require Shadowkeep instead of the Season Pass, and mod components no longer dismantle as a stack. Which is nice because I definitely deleted those mod components a couple weeks back when I was going through and deleting other things, and you can get rid of all those as one stack before. And then they changed, looks like, just the text on things or where they were sorted in collections. So, good changes so you can find the things you're looking for. And then we have a couple user interface bugs they fixed. They fixed an issue where some items were not displaying properly in collections. They fixed an issue where players don't receive a Fireteam chat not available message when Steam is down. They fixed an issue where tracking a pursuit would dismiss the release icon. That's exciting. Fix an issue where incorrect icons were appearing during the Other Side mission. Fixed an issue where the open Fireteam slots were being displayed after dismissing the activity selection. They fixed an issue where a placeholder tooltip could appear while in orbit. Fixed an issue that caused some graphical corruption when navigating the seasons screen. Fixed an issue where rank 50 toast would display overlapping numbers. They fixed an issue where they displayed a misalignment in the post-purchase animation. Fixed an issue where the launch overlay would not dismiss when navigating to the quests screen. So some visual things that they fixed, as opposed to all the known issues that they haven't fixed, which are lengthy.
Yeah.
And now we get into This Week of Bungie. This Week of Bungie, we have Trials back. Moving on. Which, I mean, that seemed to be the This Week of Bungie that I read. Did you see anything else or anything in addition we need to mention from that? Trials is back. Everyone's either excited or completely apathetic. Thank you for those who came out and enjoyed, laughed at, groaned at our couple-hour trial stream on Saturday morning. So that was good fun. And thanks for hanging out. We didn't give Respawn an aneurysm. He is not dead. I promise you, he is just sleeping somewhere.
Dead and sleeping may be the same thing.
Could be, but he our poor gameplay didn't break him to the point where he will never speak to us again. So that's not what this is. Yeah, he screamed at me, we screamed at him, we all screamed at each other. It was all good fun. So it was fun to get back into the I'd say swing of things, but that's not true because we were definitely swinging out. We did get our 3 wins. So we got our scout rifle for the week, and because we got the 3 wins, we were then able to go to St. 14, aka Titan Dad, and get a couple extra scout rifles with different rolls on it. I will note it gave me the scout rifle with the new celerity perk that gives you a whole bunch of buffs to your gun when you're the last fire team person standing,
which really helps.
Destiny,
that helps.
Like Destiny knows. Yeah.
Like these guys need that perk more than anybody else. Give it to them. Give all the guns to them with that perk. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. You're bad at this. This might help.
And if you're watching the YouTube version, you're just watching the amazing gameplay that we're showing you now. That's if you're watching the YouTube version.
And if there's any amazing gameplay to be found, I'm sure there's amazing gameplay in there.
I did a clutch moment. There was one clutch moment. I don't know if you were watching me at that point where we were 4 for 4. I was the last man standing and I managed to kill them. I was like, yes.
So there we go.
There was a thing. I did a thing.
You did. It was glorious.
So yeah, I mean, in the TWAB, they just talk about that embarking on the first TWAB of the new season, and they've acknowledged some feedback that they've been seeing in the wild. There's large changes to emblems and stat trackers, which they'll be talking about in the TWAB later on. They're also seeing some discussions on the new weapons, lack of ritual weapons for Vanguard, Crucible, and Gambit. The team is currently reviewing and discussing the feedback, and they'll be looking to talk about long-term goals for the weapons in the future TWAB. So, yeah, like you said, it wasn't really. There's not too much in here this week. There was a lot of Trials returns. There's a new trailer for it that, if you haven't seen it, we'll link it in the show notes, along with the update 2.0 notes if you want to actually read all of those and see how that can improve your gameplay.
Yeah, it's probably at least definitely worth reading over all those full patch note changes, because they did touch, I think, about every single subclass on every single character and a number of weapons. So yeah, if your go-to moves aren't working the way they should, take a peek at those 2.8.0 patch notes, because they may have changed something you've come to rely on.
Yeah, like you said, it's a lot of for everybody that wasn't familiar with Trials, they go through a quick rundown of what to expect. With Trials passages, Trials tokens, going to speak to St. 14 to kick off the Trials and pick up boons and bounties and things like that. And they do have a really helpful Trials of Osiris help article that we will also link in our show notes. But just quickly going over some of the boons. Hang on a second. When you go to Titan Dad, he will offer you a passage, like a passage card, which will keep a track of your wins and your losses. Now, the first one that everyone can pick up, and I think the second one everyone can pick up as well. So the first one grants access to the weekly Trials of Osiris tournament. Teams of 3 compete until they win 7 matches, lose 3 matches, or until the week's tournament ends. Now, this one, the first one that you can pick up, will forgive you 1 loss per run. So this is very similar to like we had in the original Trials, where you could pick up boons that would then give you account for that, so that it would forgive you a loss. And you could also pick up another boon that if you won your first game, it would give you an extra game win. And there is a card for that, but that's separate. So you can't stack these anymore. It's 1 passage card per run. And I think to get them each time, if you want to change them, you have to go back to Titan Dad, speak to him, and then just repurchase for Glimmer and Shards. But you could just keep the first one. So the first one's called Passage of Mercy, like we said, forgive you for 1 loss per run. Passage of Ferocity, which is your next card. With 0 losses, your 3rd win will grant you a bonus win. So that's quite cool. Passage of Wealth. So this requires 5 wins in Trials anyway to unlock this card. And this one increases tokens from competing and winning Trials matches. So that's quite good if you want to kind of stack your tokens each week. Passage of Wisdom. So this grants bonus XP from Trials wins, scaling with the number of wins on a ticket. So that's quite cool that you can just basically stay at the higher tier if you're really dominating your Trials, and that requires 7 wins. And then if you get a flawless, you can also pick up the Passage of Confidence. So this grants bonus rewards from the flawless chest. Yeah, simple as. These do actually scale in Glimmer. So you have 2,500 Glimmer and 15 shards for the first one. The same for the second one. And then Passage of Wealth is 3,500 and 25 shards. Passage of Wisdom is 35 and 25. And then your flawless one with your Passage of Confidence is 50,000 and 50 shards. But I believe that you can keep these in your inventory each week. You don't have to keep going back and turn them in. So you could just basically stay on the first one. It's in your quests tab.
Yeah, it's only worth mentioning. Yeah, once you do buy one of these, you don't have to, if it's 25 or 50,000 Glimmer, you don't have to, rebuy it every time your card expires. It's basically your passage into Trials for the weekend. For those of us who are not, Trials gods going to the Lighthouse, we bought the one that forgave our first win. We did that first. We then never had to go back and buy another one. We could just keep that boon with us the entire time. So we spent, you spend your 25,000 Glimmer once, and then you're good for the weekend, unless you want to change to a different passage for some reason.
Yeah, and when we got, say we played our first game and we lost that first game, rather than using that boon, we could then, when we went back to Orbit, because it's every time you play a game, you have to then go back into Trials. It's a bit like the comp playlist. You can just reset your Trials card in Orbit and then go back into Trials, so you don't have to worry about it. So if you're only won one, lost one, you can just reset your card whenever you like. You just hold down X on the card and it'll reset it for you.
Yeah, that was a nice change, because you used to have to fly back in,
Get the
go
bones.
see Brother Vance, buy the things again, go back out. So it's nice at least you can just do this all from Orbit. And I saw maybe even I saw an exchange between I think it was Dado and DMG saying you may even supposed to be able to reset it just while you're in Orbit, not even go into your card, or maybe I misunderstood. So there might be we may have seen a bug around that, but I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, go into your quest tab, find your Trials thing, and you can just reset your card from there. So you can just keep on banging your head against the wall of trying to get that fourth win around all your beloveds and your hardlights, which is hardlight is the meta. I never thought I would be saying hardlight is the meta in Trials. It's a little nutty.
So the rewards for this, at 3 wins, you get a powerful reward, which is a tier 2. At 5 wins, you get a powerful gear, which is a tier 3. And then 7 wins, you get pinnacle gear. And with those, I mean, that is quite good. It's not necessarily you have to get the 5 wins in a row or even the 7 wins. You could still have losses on your card, but as long as you hit those 3, 5, and 7, you'll still get that powerful reward or powerful gear, pinnacle gear, from those wins. So it's quite nice that you don't have to worry about the losses so much unless you are going to try and do flawless. Going flawless on a Trials passage will grant players access to the Lighthouse, reward space only available to players with a flawless passage. Players will get access to the pinnacle gear from the flawless chest. So 7 wins gives you the pinnacle gear engram, and then you also have the chance to pick up pinnacle gear from the flawless chest at the Lighthouse, which is quite nice. So you get a double dip. And they just want to make you aware, pinnacle gear will be given once per week per class. And once the chest has been opened and player leaves the Lighthouse, a new flawless passage will be needed to be completed to return to the Lighthouse. So as long as you don't open it, you could return there as many times as you like, I'm guessing. But I'd open it on the first time, get your screenshot, get your video, been to Lighthouse, done. So yeah, if you wanted any extra details on Trials of Osiris, there is a help article for that. And also, I've scoured the interwebs or the YouTubes this week for some really good tips and tricks for Trials players or people coming into Trials, new players, or even existing players. Anna Manna has got a video on what is Trials of Osiris and basically breaks it down a bit like the help guide, but in a video form with a little bit of gameplay and showing you what Trials basically is. Then Aztecross takes it one step further, basically going into what the boons do, what this does, what that does, and a few tips and tricks in his video. Then Respawn posted Parody and I a really helpful video by Fallout players, how to win Trials, 7 rules. Let's just say that we didn't really follow the rules, but they may help other people. So Brave X Hero has got 5 videos for you that will help with Trials. And he goes over in the first video which loadout for Trials, going over weapons that he recommends from loadouts that he's put together over the last couple of weeks in videos, and he'll link so that he links those in this video. He's also got one on the best Trials builds. So this is ones that he's put the builds together previously in other videos, but he goes back over it into like a quick overview of how they would work and how the teams are working cohesively together with these different builds. And there was a really good one that he did, I think we featured last week, with a hunter with the Oathkeepers and the Le Monarch and a warlock with an Empowering Rift. So that would work as two players working quite well together. Not for us, but anyway, yeah, so there's some really good loadouts in that video. Then we have teamwork tips. Again, pretty straightforward. Watch it, gives you some teamwork tips. Flawless mentality, helping you kind of get into the mentality of actually working together, and improving your communication is the last one by him. And again, it goes over what you need to be referencing for callouts, working as a team beforehand, going into Trials and looking at the map and what you're going to call the call outs. So yeah, it's those are really good videos to watch. I'm not going to describe all of them to you because it's no point, because they're worth going to watch. Deicide also has burnout trials tips. Again, worth watching because he again shows you with his gameplay, pausing, rewinding, showing you how it works and what to do in certain situations. And then Cool Guy has a really cool video of the Kepris Sting for the hunters in Trials and how that worked and how he used it to help him direct his team where the enemy players were going. So he says it's kind of a sleeper hit for hunters to be using in Trials, because you smoke bomb yourself, you can see where the enemy team's running. So it was really helpful for his call out. So that's worth a watch, because that may be something that you guys can use. So to actually get an engram from Titan Dad or Saint 14, you have to have actually got 3 wins, I believe it is, to unlock the ability to actually purchase something from him. So the minimum that you have to get is 3 wins on that character. And then you can use your tokens at Titan Dad. And I believe it's 20 tokens per engram. They're not powerful engrams, but they're light equivalent to what your Guardian is at that time. So if your Guardian's 992, you'll get a 992 drop kind of thing. And depending on what you've discovered from Trials, so if you've gone flawless and you've got a piece of armor and you've got a weapon, you have a chance to get one of those 2 things from the engrams. The big thing is that the tokens go away at each weekly reset, so you have to make sure that you spend them before they're removed.
Yeah, so I jumped back in and I sent my 2 Trials companions a message saying, hey, make sure you go back to Saint 14, since we did actually make it to 3 wins. And this week it's the scout rifle, scholarly, something like that. So I got 1 in-game drop, and then we had enough tokens because we did go back and rebuy a couple of Saint 14's bounties, because at least once you get to those 3 wins, you can sort of continue to buy the bounties from him. And which is like things like getting a number of kills, or like as a team, I think as a team get arc kills or get this many grenade kills. So it's things you can actually sort of do if you're not a Trials. If you're not a Trials god going flawless to the Lighthouse, you can at least get those tokens. So as long as you can make it to 3 wins, which again we were able to do, just one time, in the entire 3.5-ish hours we played, you just have to do that once, and then I was able to have enough tokens at that point to go back and buy a couple of those weapons. But yeah, but be mindful, every week at Tuesday at reset, those tokens go away. And even if you don't get your 3 wins, you can still collect the tokens, but you can't actually spend them at Saint 14, as Nate even said, until you get those at least 3 wins. Otherwise, you just have the tokens and they sit in your inventory, and then you're just sad that you can't use them.
And it starts every Friday at reset, and it ends every Tuesday at reset, which is quite nice. So you've got a couple of days past the weekend to actually continue playing. And if you do manage to go flawless, you do have a chance to get a yellow glow that appears, and it slowly fades over the week. To refresh the glow, players will need to go flawless again. And these glows, you have Light for the Lost. Trials glow turns white when equipped. Light makers wear this emblem when they're carrying other players to the Lighthouse. And then there's Flawless Empyrean, which the Trials glows red when equipped, and light breakers will wear this emblem when trying to block players from getting to the lighthouse. That's quite cool. So we'll be seeing that over the next couple of weeks.
It's interesting. I like how they have sort of like the competing glows. It's like, all right, you got your team of guys trying to do your carry, and then the team on the other side with the glows block you. Which is, I don't know. It's like, isn't that the point anyway? Everyone's trying to block everyone. We're all trying to get the wins, but is there a glow for the streamers that are going to go in and then jump off the map and give people their 7th win? Because I remember in D1, a lot of folks would do that. They would say, hey, we've gone in this weekend. We're going to grab 2 people and just go in and just match up to people and then just wave at them and jump off the map every time and give them a free win, which is sort of nice if you can encounter those folks.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's more of before in Trials 1 we had, or Trials in Destiny 1, people would wave and jump off the map to allow people to go to the lighthouse if they saw what their card was on. So it's quite interesting how the glows are now kind of communicating to other players.
Yeah, it's interesting too because it's now matching you with folks that are at least in theory connection based and then card based. So if you're on your 6th win and you're seeing somebody else on their 6th win, then you might have the opportunity to either let them go or know that, hey, this is the game for what you really need. This is the game for that lighthouse trip you've been grinding for or trying to get through all weekend.
Yeah,
not the work
and
good.
The last thing on Trials is just to remind people that the bans are out. So make sure that you are playing to the rules and not doing any super cheating.
You say that, but
cheating.
Did you guys watch the MTash video where he quote unquote carries ass across to the tower, the lighthouse?
A self-resing warlock. Yes.
Yeah, and like if you really watch it, you can see the exact moment he dies. Right behind him, kind of like around the corner, you can see half of a body where it's red with the overshield, like it just respawned. And I was like, that's not he's not even trying to hide it. Like he didn't spawn at the other end of the map. He's just like, boom, right there. It's like,
we did encounter that one team that were bouncing across the map.
Yeah, but nothing like a self-res. I was just like, ooh.
Bouncing across the map is just as bad. You have suddenly there's a Titan right in your face, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, but if you manage to engage a Titan one way, and he's
dead, right? The self-res, if you kill him, he's not dead.
Yeah, it's very hard to kill him though when you're thinking he's coming from the middle of the map and you turn to engage one way, and all of a sudden he's 40 meters to your left, killing your teammate, and then by the time you figure out what's going on, he's now killed you as well.
Yeah. That's true.
So, if you haven't guessed, our Sleepy Hunter has joined us.
Huzzah.
Hello, Sleepy Hunter.
Huzzah.
How are you?
Tired.
Did you forget to set your alarm?
No, I set the alarm, but the thing about it is I always have to set 2 alarms, right? All the time. Because sometimes, depending on how rough the night was, I will literally sleep through the first. So I set another one for 30 minutes later.
I'm going to need Luna's telephone number so that I can call her to get you up, because I know that would wake you up, because me ringing her will make her angry to get you up.
The sad thing is that's not going to work, because she turns off her phone entirely at night, which drives me insane, especially when there's a 3-hour time difference between us.
I'm going to need the house number.
House number? Who still has a house number?
There's no house number here.
No, but it was a rough night.
Anyway, so we've pretty much nearly done the whole show.
Huzzah! All right, guys, thanks for joining. Bye.
Now we are on the TWAB, and we are looking at tracker tracking.
Tracker tracking. There's Titan Warlock weapons.
So in Season of Worthy, all emblems have been converted to our new stat trackers. That means all emblems will be inspectable and can track or can have trackers equipped or not. Yeah. So when designing the system, our overall goal was to provide players with more ways and options to show off their accomplishments. Our first selection of stats were determined by prioritizing stats that represented a skill that could be improved week over week or season over season, and be an accomplishment that players would want to display that was meaningful to other players. Because of that, some stats that couldn't be completed or improved on any longer weren't included.
Just embrace your anger over you no longer be able to show people you got your 2,500 Iron Burden killed. Embrace the anger and use that to power you through this reading.
Well, you want to talk about anger. What really angers me is they spent all the time developing this when they could have taken that time to fix other things that are actually problems. I hate that they're devoting time to useless stuff that, on the whole, we don't really care about.
It's not useless, and some people do care.
Some.
So that's one thing people have.
There, man.
Yeah, that's one thing people have asked about for a long time, though, is why do we have so many emblems that don't track anything, they don't do anything? And from that perspective, I like that, I like there being one emblem to show you one accomplishment, but it's also nice that I can take, my Saint 14 or my Ramen Shop emblem and put something on it to track. I like, instead of giving each emblem its own tracker, so you had to keep track of 40,000 emblems. Yeah, I wish they wouldn't have taken away the things that, if it was tracking already, can we keep the things they were already tracking? But all the emblems in the game that don't track anything, add that system to them. And I know that's probably, it's much easier said than done. Yeah, but at least it was sort of an elegant way to say, here's a bunch of things you can now track something with.
But why though? I always just looked at emblems as just another piece of fashion. Hey, look at that cool emblem. Look at that cool emblem.
Yeah, but now you can look at that cool emblem.
I never look to see what it tracks. Never.
Yeah, but now if you put the tracker, it actually highlights on the end of your emblem, which is quite nice.
Yeah, no, I get that, but even other people's, if I like the way it looks, I'll never look to see what the hell it's tracking. Just it's a cool emblem. Done. Bye.
Okay. Well, there you go. You're not impressing Respawn with your changes.
No, I think it's useless. No. I think you could have spent that time elsewhere doing something that the whole community would enjoy more.
Okay. So, I mean, they agree, or they believe in these requirements in principle, but strictly applying them retroactively unfairly removed your accomplishments that you could flaunt in seasons prior. It was a change that made with a good intention, but was the wrong way to roll out a new system. So they've acknowledged it was wrong to roll it out this way. Very strange. They've identified some stats that can be added back in a future patch, and they wanted to share them with us. So they're currently planning to add these stats back in an update later on in the season. So seasons, lifetime, season 8's season pass rank earned, season 9 season pass rank earned, fractaline donations, because apparently people are upset with their fractaline donations disappearing. Account, so kills as a Sentinel Titan, Striker Titan, Subbreaker Titan, Arcstrider Hunter, Night Stalker, Gunslinger, Stormcaller Warlock, Dawnblade, and Voidwalker. Crucible, lifetime, gold medals earned, longest glory winning streak, and total valor resets. Destination, lifetime, Pit of Heresy solo floors completions. They say this list isn't complete yet, and we plan to add to it before the update is released. As a note, none of the stats that were previously tracked have been lost. So my 2,500 kills with my Iron Burden on isn't lost, and I'd like it back then.
You just can't have it. No.
I know. I'd like that, please.
No, you can't have it.
Otherwise, the emblem means nothing. It's just another emblem that looks emblemy.
That looks cool.
Yeah, I know what I had to do to get it, but I want to tell other people what I had to do to get it with the number that I had on the bottom, please. Anyway, so if you are missing any numbers that you really, really, really loved, like me, feel free to sound off on the Bungie.net forums, DTG, subreddit, or even Twitter. They've got their eyes everywhere. But have you got your ears everywhere? Because I'm sending this plea via the podcast.
Yes, they do. They're all working from home. They're all desperate for more content. So they're probably looking for more podcasts to listen to as well. So why not ours?
As somebody that works from home, doing actual work while you're home is difficult. So no, they're not listening. They don't care. They probably have screaming children, food to cook, cabinets to build, something that they've been waiting to do for a long time. Your plea is lost in a sea of cries that will not ever reach anybody.
Please.
No.
Please.
Not for you, comrade.
So with that, here's Parody's known issues report.
All right, everyone. So with our launch of Season of the Worthy, we have a couple of known issues. So sit back, grab a drink, and we're going to run through these real quick. First off, for all you hunters out there, you got a new exotic, your Raiju's Harness exotic chess piece. Unfortunately, it was allowing for the infinite whirlwind guard usage, and because of that, they've disabled it until a fix can be deployed. However, Titans and Warlocks, if you've been missing your Worm God Caress or your Winter Sky exotic gauntlets, those have been re-enabled following the release of the 2.8.0 patch. So, sorry hunters, your exotics no longer working right now. Titans and Warlocks, yours are back. Now, we have a couple of, again, it's a new season. With new season comes new bugs. So, players whose clan rosters are not loading should ensure that accounts inactive for an extended period of time should be removed from the clan. Season Pass will be applied to the first account that signs in. If you plan to cross-save but will use another character set, it is recommended to set up cross-save before you log in. So basically, if you don't have cross-save enabled and you log into your PC first, that's where your Season Pass goes. If you then log into your Xbox or your PS4, your Season Pass will not be applied there because they're not cross-saving. So whatever account you log into first gets your Season Pass. Your Universal Ornaments will only apply on certain legendary armor pieces called Armor 2.0. These armor pieces will also show an energy cost on them. Teammates' emblems are blacked out and show no power level. Players may experience crashes on PS4. Some players may not receive awards from the Garden of Salvation encounter chests. Some players may not receive progress on Crucible and Iron Banner quests and bounties. When using HDR, the brightness slider doesn't appear to work and dark areas are hard to see. Now we have some character-based issues to talk about. The Ward of Dawn ability for Code of the Protector Void Titans is not generating the 3 orbs of light on activation. In fact, it appears to be generating 0 orbs of light. The Wealth of the Emperor buff does not go away even if the Chalice is perfected. The Warlock Arc Grenade perk no longer chain lightnings nearby enemies and does not return energy. So you've been using your Arc Whip grenades and they are not working in chaining, that's why. It's a bug. And the Hunter's Weighted Knife doesn't hit crit spots on Vex Goblins. Alright, onto our items. Our Faction Rally ornaments cannot be applied to their respective class items. The Virtuous Greaves Titan ornament has lost its glow effect. The Planetary Material Auto Collection Bunker upgrade is not awarding the correct number of planetary materials. World chests in the Dreaming City are not dropping Glimmer. Swapping energy on a fully masterworked and modded armor piece shows that it can no longer be upgraded. Exiting and re-entering the armor's detail screen will allow the armor piece to be re-upgraded. The Rifle Reserves mod is not granting extra rifle ammo reserves. The Anti-Barrier mod prevents explosive head and other explosive damage on bows. Onto exotics. The Devil's Ruin may not fire correctly after a super has been used. The Dune Marcher's Linear Actuators perk will not activate after being triggered on yellow bar enemies. If Phoenix Cradle boots are equipped, the Sun Warrior buff doesn't work with sunspots from enemy kills. And the Polaris Lance's 5th shot explosion cancels on continuous fire. So...
Oh, I thought they'd fixed that one.
Thought they had too, but apparently it's back. So lots of bugs in Titan exotics. And
Oh dear.
Alright, so on to our bounties and quests. If you're hunting the Wishender bow, the statue of Sejuro Ido for the Wishender quest in the Shattered Throne may cause crashes. And we talked about the Seraph Bunker upgrade list being correct last week, so I'll refer you to help.bungie.net because it's very confusing to read through. But basically the EDZ Tier 1 bunker upgrade, the Moon Tier 1 bunker upgrade, and the IO Tier 1 bunker upgrade are all incorrect. So go to help.bungie.net and read exactly what you need to do versus what the game tells you need to do to get those upgrades.
No, I want you to read them all to people. I want you to struggle with all the words.
I can struggle through all the words. It's just a lot. I gloss over it when I read it.
That's fine.
Right. The E to Z Tier 1 bunker upgrade requires completing challenges from Zavala, Shax, the Drifter, Banshee 44, and Hawthorne. The Moon Tier 1 bunker upgrade requires completing Strikes, Crucible, Gambit, and Nightmare Hunt challenges. And the IO Tier 1 bunker upgrade requires completing Flashpoint, Dungeon, and Raid challenges. So that's what they are. Don't know what they say in game, but that's what they are. So during the Authentication Protocol quest step in the Seraph Warset Network quest, players need to speak with Rasputin on IO. If the tokens from the Wishender quest are pushed out of a player's postmaster, there is currently no way to reclaim or reacquire new tokens. which you also, when you talk to the statue, may crash your game anyway, so Wish Ender, we'll just call it bugged all around. The Wish Ender quest is just bugged all the way around right now. Players who cross-save on a platform where they do not own Forsaken may lose access to the exotic quest for Malfeasance when they defeat the Ascendant Primeval Servitor. Alright, triumphs and collections, because yes friends, we have more bugs. The progress for the In Pursuit of Honor triumph is no longer doubled in Iron Banner. Ghost Scan 132 is no longer available on Nessus. The Trials of Osiris emblems and collection category cannot be viewed until a player has earned those items. The Seraph Public Event Completions triumph is tracking successful public event completions. There is no heroic version of this public event. The Play in the Odds emblem cannot be reacquired from collections. As a temporary workaround, players can reset their infamy rank 3 times during a season. After doing so, the emblem will be guaranteed to drop, along with the Ludomaniacal emblem variant. So just, reset your Gambit infamy 3 times in a season. No problem, once they fix Gambit. The Forged in Fire Crucible badge cannot be obtained. Some triumphs will display a progress bar even though only one objective needs to be completed. And on to activities. Players may experience crashes when playing Gambit or Gambit Prime. On the Eternity map, in the Countdown Crucible game mode, the bomb placements and waypoints are in incorrect locations or do not show up during the first round. Certain warnings will appear for Nightfalls that require players to have certain mods equipped. These warnings don't account for teammates' loadouts. So I'm assuming those are if you have a certain type of champion, it'll tell you, hey, if they're overload champions, you need to go in with an overload something on a weapon. So if it's giving you that and you can talk to your teammates, make sure one of you have it. Because apparently it's not taking that into account. On your seasonal content, which doesn't seem so much like a bug as how it's supposed to work, but seasonal consumables will be deleted when the season of Worthy ends. If you're going to Eververse, players who use Bright Dust to buy the Painted Eye Shell receive the Beautiful Gravities ship instead. And finally, we have some bugs just for our friends over on PC. Players may experience crashes when exiting the game on Steam. Players whose Forsaken license did not transfer from Blizzard to Steam should retry PC migration. Additionally, some players experiencing this issue may need to log into Destiny on Steam before retrying migration. Receiving the problem reading game content errors after verifying integrity of the game files, and they've got a link there for some more information. Various basically, if you're having PC migration supported, go to their PC migration page, try it again first, and if that doesn't work, go to the page, look up other PC migration information, because there's a bunch of issues involving that. And finally, on PC, all offline players in clans will not display their name, but instead will show offline. And that, my friends, are our Season of Worthy known issues as of now. So if you're seeing things broken, that's why. If you see additional things broken, go to help.bungie.net and report them so they can try to look into them and see if they are indeed broken, if they're not really broken, or if we're all just crazy living in a giant simulation.
And as side note, movie of the week, Parody and I didn't get the movie of the week. Sad face emoji. Moving on.
Devastated. We are devastated. Or, not at all.
I'm devastated. You may not be devastated. I did the gameplay. I made the play.
You did.
I'm devastated.
You did.
I didn't get recognized.
You threw that Nova bomb. You killed people good. You wiped that whole team, and
exactly. And I'm sorry. Maybe I should have put it in the description. Throwing a Nova bomb like I did and killing 3 other people on the team all at the same time is an amazing accomplishment for a Titan main player. We don't know how to Warlock. We don't know how to do anything Warlocky. It's like if Respawn had to main a Titan for the rest of his life. It's just one of those things that's inconceivable.
2 things. First of all, A, it would either be a short life, or B, I would play something else.
Again, inconceivable.
Yeah,
you're not wrong.
So Respawn, I know you're tired, but it's your section now. It's the Respawn Report Roundup.
Here we go. Weekly Summary 23. Cosmo once again has stuff to say. Anyway, some changes get missed in patch notes. Some aren't included if they aren't super impactful, like minor icon or localization changes. If it's something with matchmaking or sandbox, they will always call out changes. On resilience changes, spoke with the team, because that's always handy. And it looks like this was a side effect of the changes to make resilience affect class ability cooldowns and resulted in a 5% difference in vitality tiers 4 through 9. I'm told that Thorn should have always required 6 resilience to survive 2 headshots and 1 body shot. We currently don't have plans to change resilience. Wait the hell a second. All right, this is the right date. What the fluff, man?
You do see that's from February 23rd, right? So that's quite a while ago. Or February 24th.
No, this has no date on it, but the date of the link that I'm clicking is correct. That's weird.
Weekly Summary 23, February 24th, 2020. As opposed to the other two that are from March 3rd or March 13th on Destiny Roundup. Good morning.
Bungie
Welcome to
helped
the day, sunshine.
Oh, pretty pictures. Yay! Players should ensure that they have enough space in their consumables inventory to receive their Trials tokens. Trials tokens cannot be stored in the Postmaster. Bungie, why do you suck? Just like the biggest butts ever, man. You're like the worst. Cosmo says
We apologize.
no. We do not apologize.
We do apologize.
Bungie,
We apologize
you
for the
suck.
negativity that he is bringing.
Negativity. The fact that Bungie has expiring currency and expiring currency that can't even be stored in a Postmaster is ridiculous. Cosmo says he'll let the team know how to take a look at radar booster decreasing radar range. That's funny.
Working as unintended.
Right. The radar booster decreases your range. Excellent. I've always wanted that. Missed patch note. Stronghold now maximizes sword defense stats, resulting in a high defense guard that does not lose guard energy on taking hits or decay over time. The armor retains its existing healing functionality. Reddit. Speaking of armor, just a side note, not a rant. I was playing on PC yesterday with a lot of our clanmates, and people were talking about, especially Fuzzco. Fuzzco is actually particularly upset about it. Is how the new mod system works, right? How you get a mod and you have to use it for previous season, current, or future seasons, right? Because these new mods that we're getting, we can't use on our dungeon armor. You know, the really good armor, well, not really good, but the armor that comes masterworked already and has decent stats on it or whatever, right? He's very upset, and he should be, that you have to go buy new armor and then masterwork that armor and do all that grind, all that ridiculousness just to put on different mods. And he's right. Shouldn't have to do that. Bungie, again, you suck. Feedback that bit rewards from the Seraph event should be increased has been forwarded. That actually says that. Stand by.
I haven't actually gotten through one of those events successfully yet, so I don't even know what the rewards are, but it's good that they're looking at maybe making them better.
Really? Yeah, I know that.
I'm sorry, we've been joined by another member.
I've noticed, yeah.
And what class does she play? What thoughts does she have on our Trials performance?
Yeah. To answer your question about the mods for the dungeon, you can equip mods from seasons 7, 8, and 9 in the mod slockets for those armor pieces. So it's still worth keeping those armor pieces around. So you can use 7, 8, and 9, but to maximize what we're doing at the moment with the new mod system, Season of Dawn armor would be the best ones to keep around, because you can have Season of Undying, Season of Dawn, and Season of Worthy mods on all of those pieces. So the pieces that we collected last season, not the dungeon stuff because that's classed as season 7. No, season 8, isn't it? Yes. What are we now? Season 10. Yeah. So that's classed as season 8. Is probably not the best ones to hang on to, and nor was really the Undying one. I'd hold on to Dawn because Dawn can hold all 3, and then season 12 would probably be the next best one to have because season 12 armor will then be able to have season 12, season 11, and season 13 armor. So keep armor around until you get to the point where you don't need certain armor pieces. Do you understand what I'm trying to? Do you understand what I'm trying to say about keeping certain pieces of armor?
Yeah,
Yes, but the
that's
answer is
still
just
stupid.
to not pay attention to any of those mod slots, and who cares about any of them?
Well, some of them are really good.
You
Like,
don't need them. It's
like
not
this
important.
season,
No. You don't need them.
like
Not
this
important.
season, I am disappointed that I can't equip the mod that when you're holding a sword makes you more resilient. That's a little disappointing. It's also a little disappointing that you can't equip the mod that if you have a Seraph weapon, which some of us have really good ones now, and you kill an enemy and it drops the orb for you to throw the orb at people, right? Can't equip that. So anyway, point is it's a mod for armor. We don't have to change weapons to use different weapon mods. The mods work for all the weapons, no matter how old the weapons are, right? So why is it that we have to change armors for the armor mods? Why can't you just put the mods on the armor? And while we're on the subject, we still can't put mods on exotic armor. So you're always missing out on at least one mod on a piece of armor if you're wearing an exotic. That's the kind of stuff they should have fixed. Not, oh, you can put stat trackers on your emblem now. Yay! Anyway, they're investigating if Fighting a Lion was nerfed. 2 Reddit links for that. Same for Mountaintop. No internal changes were made. Send over videos if you have them. Another Reddit link. They're looking into the bug with Raiju's harness and if it's a weird edge case. Again, Reddit link. We'll let the team know. Oh my God. We'll let the team know. We're investigating. Are you doing anything, though? That's the thing. We'll let the team know that players would like to see Valor win streak and other favorites. That's a link, by the way. That stat tracker back, another Reddit link. The overwhelming majority of players, around 90%, are under 980 right now. Twitter. Okay. Gambit crashes being investigated. Twitter. That was funny, actually. Have you guys experienced that? Where if somebody levels up in a Gambit match, you lose 3 people?
I have not. Although it was my plan with my limited play to jump into Gambit and use that as sort of my way to level up until I heard day one that just don't even bother going into Gambit because it's nothing but a crash fest. So I haven't even spoken to the Drifter this season.
We'll let the team know that some players would like Orpheus rigs changes reversed. If you're talking about the fact that you can only receive a maximum of 50% of your super back, yeah. Stop nerfing my damn exotic, Bungie. Nerf some Titan exotics for a change. Besides the one-eyed mask.
They did.
Actually, you know what? Nerf the one-eyed mask again. I don't care. Just take it out the game. Is it a threat? Not really. Do I like it? I don't. Can I get rid of it? I can. Can you get rid of it? Yes, you can. Please do. Thank you. Moving on. On the Eververse Titan armor. I'm sorry. No, hold on. There's another part to that. Orpheus Rigs was brought down to be in line with other super region exotics. I'll let the team know that you feel this nerf was unnecessary and would like to see it brought back up. See, look at that. Somebody else is saying the things that I would say. Whoever you are, you're beautiful and brave. I love you.
It's probably you on the forums post anyway.
No, I wouldn't give the time to even talk to them. On the Eververse Titan armor.
Yet you're on the podcast talking to them.
I'm on a podcast talking to my beautiful and brave minions. If Bungie happens to hear, that's great.
And he's but one short click away from finding out who has asked for this information. But good listeners, you will never know.
No, we're not. Actually, does it even say? Oh, yeah, right there. Vive la Lune. You're gorgeous. Your name is gorgeous.
So it's Luna on the forums asking on your behalf, or that's your alternate ego, one or the other.
No, it's actually neither because Luna would actually put Luna. That just says Moon Life. So, no. On the Eververse Titan armor, we'll let the dev team know that you don't find this Titan armor appealing. That's the exact opposite that I've heard. The Titan main that I was playing with last night says he actually really likes the new Titan. Not the
Use your
mods.
big boy
I'm
words.
trying to think of what they're called. Dude, it's like early AF where I'm at. And will you change the way the armor looks without changing the armor? Ornament. The new ornament. I don't know if this is referring to the actual armor this season or the ornament. If it's the actual armor, Bungie, they're all ugly. If it's talking about the armor ornament that we have from Eververse, I hear a lot of Titans saying that they actually like it. So I don't know which one this is. Anyway, we'll let the team know that you don't find this Titan armor appealing. I've seen a lot of feedback that players like the other two classes and sets. Some Titans would like to see something that looks like the Hunter sets on Titans. Yeah, you would, but you can't because you're a Titan. Crayon eating Titan. You want to look like a hunter? Be a hunter. If you have any additional thoughts, please feel free to share. Thanks, Forums Link. DMG. They're tracking and investigating, congratulations, a few different crashes and performance issues. Reddit link. Once they have a fix planned, they will let you know. Another Reddit link. That is a completely useless Reddit link. On Garden of Salvation sealed, no longer requiring flawless. Adding some additional info. Speaking with the team, the plan was for the shader to be the flawless reward, while the title itself was for folks who completed all of the other associated requirements, badge, triumphs, etc. Lengthy time investment on the current raid, which itself is difficult to the majority of players. While more people will have access to the title, it will still be one of the more exclusive in the title roster. The bug! Flawless shader being required for the seal was tracked and fixed over the last few months, but wasn't on our radar to communicate. Further, the bug was accidentally removed from our back-end patch notes during a page when alternate bugs were added. Perfect storm for this to feel like a stealth change, but that was not our intention. We kicked off an internal conversation, because those are always good, about the patch note issue to help avoid that happening again in the future. In other words, somebody got fired. We're also talking with the team, not about the team, probably about the team, but mostly with the team, about seals and titles and what the current goals are behind them. Don't have a specific timeline for those comms, but we would love to hear them in the future. Twat, no Reddit link. Thanks for the feedback so far. Keep it coming. There's the Reddit link. They're going through feedback regarding Eververse with the team. Reddit link. The short of it, a few bones needed to break on emblems in order to reset them for a brighter future. Some trackers couldn't start at the beginning of your journey, but we'll be tracking you from now on. Let Dylan know how you're engaging with the bunker system here. By the way, your stat that you're looking for, guess what? You get to restart it, demon. Yay! So now you got to go under light and kill a whole bunch of people with Iron Banner again. Congratulations. Let Dylan know about what you think about the current state of Power Fantasy in D2 here. And that's it.
Okay, and we will put the Destiny Roundup in the show notes so that if anybody wants to go and click on those links, they are welcome to.
Mm-hmm.
And now you've got a couple of tips, tricks, builds, and guides for us. Just a few, and they aren't all about trials, but they might mostly be about trials.
Well, no, I mean we've gone over the trials ones earlier, but they will be in the show notes if anybody's interested in looking at their team mentality and tips to help them go flawless.
I guess I have to go back and read those since I was not a key for those. Speaking of trials,
yes,
is anybody else irritated by all the streamers that are like easy, flawless trials run, easy trials run, made easy, this and that, the other? No, trials run is never going to be easy. Your skill gap and your team make it easy. Trials is not easy. You know, they're advertising their YouTube channels like they've just shown you the easy way to get a full card in trials. It's like, hey guys, come watch me. Look, if you do this too, you can get a full free trials card. Yay! And that to me is irritating. Not because
I think,
I don't have that skill
yeah.
level, right? That's not it, right? At all this time. Okay, I'm specifying. But it to me, it seems like very false advertising, very clickbaity, and it's starting to make me actually angry every time I look at my feed and I see easy trials run, new trials this, new trials that. It's just like, no, it's not easy. And you
No.
saying that it's easy is drawing in people that are desperate to get any kind of trials weapon. Now, if you want to say something like trials carries, look at this carry, come join my stream and you'll get a carry, something like that, I could see that. But you advertising as it's an easy trials run, giving people hope that you've discovered something to make it easy, like a glitch or a build or whatever, I think is kind of scumbaggy, and I think you should stop it.
Okay, there's Respawn's feedback. But I think the point is that they're making the videos to show you that if you have a certain loadout or if you play a certain way, it will make things easy for you. But I think what they lose in their communication to people is that a lot of people like us can't just pick up that build, that loadout, and wreck in trials. It's going to take a lot of time to go in and practice in PvP to actually get good with those weapons and get good skills with playing as that kind of subclass.
Yeah.
I mean, you may have half the skills now, but just adding like the weapons or the way that subclass works to the gameplay that you normally do. It's like you've got to unlearn one thing to learn another thing. So sometimes it's going to be hard, but it's like we said to a couple of people, is that it just takes time and practice, and you're not going to be guaranteed flawless every time or even once, but you're going to give it your best shot like we did and just keep playing and just keep practicing.
But
it
even
helps
that is
if
only
you
part of it. You can practice.
it helps if you get a good
practice
team
in
though
PvP
together as well, a couple of people that you can play with.
Because after we
that
did
you can-
trials, I went in PvP and I got a 34 KD, right? Not KD. I got 34 kills and I only died like 4 or 5 times, right? So that was in PvP. Did those skills transfer over to trials? Hell no, they didn't. Because that team works well together. They communicate well with each other and they know how to collapse on a team, right? Those
That's
are
what I'm
skills
saying.
that you can't really learn in PvP. Those are skills you learn with working with a team you can trust.
Well, it is a skill that you can learn in PvP, and you just play with the same team. So, like this week, if we were really super serious about going flawless, we would meet up and we'd play elimination for the rest of the week. We wouldn't do any of our powerful stuff.
Right.
We would just keep practicing over and over and over again, because those teams that do play together, or those people that can just kind of pick another player or a couple of players and go flawless, have got that built-in mentality. It's not like we can all do it. So I think that's the thing to kind of take away from their videos, is watch their videos and just learn what they're doing and what they're actually saying about how they're playing. Like the Brave X Hero videos, your mentality of how you're going to go flawless, your communication, that you've got to improve that, working as a team. It's little things like that, but when it does work, it works. And we found that when we played, that when we were working as a team and the little communication that we had, we kind of worked well and collapsed on the team when we got a pick, or if one of us went down.
By the way, an internal conversation me and Night Demon had is I was talking about how our communication needs to improve, and one of you chimed in. I can't remember because it was late when I read it, but you're like, yeah, our communication was perfect. When we died, we said we died. It's like that's not the
and we needed resing. Yeah.
That's not the communication I'm talking about.
No.
Yeah, so you're implying that over here, or go get him, he's over there, are not beautiful
I
call-outs?
did not say.
I mean-
I did not say that those were beautiful call-outs, and I did
Pretty sure
not
all
say
three
that
of us
I'm
at one
not
point were
guilty
like,
of the
"He's
same
over
thing."
there, or
Right?
come get me.
Yeah. No, I'm absolutely guilty of the same thing. And I never said you guys need to work on your communication. I said our problem, me included, is the communication. Right? No, I'm fully aware
we can
that
work
we
on that.
suck when it comes to talking to each other. Because all of us, well, not all of us, Parody is just kind of like, hey, I'm a bullet sponge. But me and Demon are used to just going in
I'm
and
the
being
bait.
quote unquote hero, right? So run in, kill the thing.
You can't have two heroes on the same team.
Exactly.
Because we just run in and kill them.
I'm like, hey, stick together, Demon. Where's Demon? I don't know. Damn it. He's over there. He's dead. Damn it.
Speaking of which, we did figure out that the solution to that problem. Telesto, my friend. We should have loaded him up with Telesto,
Yes.
then sent him into battle.
So
at
we
least
should
maybe
have loaded him into Telesto. What?
Yeah.
No,
Shoot me with
yeah,
Telesto.
load him up with
Let me
Telesto
run
shots, send
in.
him in, and
Yeah.
then we'll be all set.
Well, we've still got time to do that, guys. So if you missed any of the guides, they are further back in our trials section that we did a little bit of talking about earlier. So moving on to some of the other new things that have come into the game, you've got leveling and new game mechanics. And to help you out with those, Fallout Plays has got a power leveling guide to get you from 950 up to 1000. Now, I played for a few hours each day for over 3 days, and I did the trick of leveling up my hunter with powerful rewards, then moving on to my warlock, then moving on to my titan. I didn't necessarily do the pinnacle rewards because the nightmare hunts, oh my god, you have to be over 1000 to do the nightmare hunts master. The nightfall ones is a little bit too hard to do at the moment, and I mean I could have raided and I could have done the dungeon, but I didn't. I kind of left those. So there are other things that you can do to, there are a lot of people that hit the 1000 mark on the week 1 for trials. But Fallout Plays has a kind of breakdown of what you can do to kind of level up efficiently. And I wasn't aware of it, but the first step is really go into comp, because apparently comp gives you quite a lot of high powered drops. Some of them aren't powerful. You'll get a powerful one for doing 4 in that rotator list, but you'll get weapons and armor dropping maybe 1 light higher that will help creep you up and get you to that point of the soft cap of 960 for then be able to go off and then do the Zavala bounties, the gunsmith bounties, your Shax bounties. So you turn those in, they'll give you a powerful reward. Then you've got things that you can leave till last, which are like the Gambit one. It gives you a tier 2 reward, so it'll step you up, I think, +3 light rather
And
than
don't
the
forget
normal
about the
ones at
seasonal
+1.
rewards either, right? Because
Yeah.
seasonal reward will drop at your average light level, right? So
Yeah.
if you're getting powerful armor pieces, but you just can't get that leg piece, well, guess what? Looking not your collections, your seasonal rewards, and you'll have a leg piece that's higher, most likely, than the current leg piece, and you can just put that bad boy on, increase your overall light level, and then keep trucking.
I believe the clan one is a tier 2 as well.
It is,
and little things like going back and looking on your old season passes. So if you left some of the armor, some of the engrams on your old season pass, they will actually drop at a light level that is respectable. So before I even picked up my Titan, I'd gone around and looked at my old season pass and picked up the armor pieces that I left on that one. They were, low in stats, but they were high light when I brought them across. So they brought my character up. And before I even started playing, I think I was at 988 on my Titan from just picking up armor pieces and transferring the weapons that I'd already collected across. And then, by the time we got to trials, I think I was 930, 993. So then with the artifact light, which I managed to get to 10, and that was again just everything that I did. I picked up bounties as I went along the way. That helped level up my season pass. So that helped as well. But Fallout Plays, as I said, has got a powerful leveling guide that will break it all down for you, what to do and what's best. Cheese Forever reminds you that is there a free powerful reward that you can get from Bungie, and he goes over the details in his video. He also has a video on how to get the new exotics on day 1. So if you are really craving that exotic for your warlock or your titan, because let's face it, you can't get the hunter one, or you can get the hunter one. It does drop, but you can't equip it. Cheese has got a video on that. Now, I think this is Stallone's. Cheese Forever pointed me in this direction. I think it was a post that he put on YouTube. So go and check this guy out. He's got the perfect way of how to upgrade your bunker and the most efficient way and upgrade it smartly. And this guy broke it down of you have to get this one, this one, this one, then you can go this one, this one, this one, and it reduced the cost of this, this, and this. It was really fantastic. I mean, my bunker's nearly leveled up, and I've only played for 3 days, so it was really good. His video, so that's linked in the show notes. But then Ibontis takes it a step further with his Seraph Bunkers Explained and goes over each node and explains to you what each one does and what each step of each tier does and what you can get from each bunker. So that's worth a watch as well, along with the Stellon's one. Fallout Plays, if you are struggling with the Serif Towers, has a Blueberry certified video on how to complete these towers very easily. So if you are struggling like I was at the start, I was like, what do I do here? I'm throwing things at this, but nothing's happening. Fallout has a brilliant video for you that breaks it all down for you to watch. And then Error has a Season of Worthy mods explained. So these are the new mods that you can get on this season and put it on your armor, where you can get different orbs to drop. I think they're Warmind bombs or something. And if you shoot them with a Serif weapon, they explode and do extra damage, things like that. But Error goes through all these mods and explains what they can do.
Yeah. Once again, back to the armor system. Yeah.
No. Weapons and armor. As we're getting into new season, we've got some weapons that are being reviewed and armor that's coming into the forefront. Not many builds as yet. There are a few that are coming through that I'm kind of saving for the next couple of weeks. But if you want builds, there are some really good ones. Like I said, for Brave X Hero.
Tell us, you son of a... What?
Brave X Hero's got a couple of good builds, as I said, in his videos for Trials. So, weapons and armor. Aztecross has got the last word cracked. Now, in this video, he explains how to use the last word, and we all knew that it was being changed from like
that's it.
Aim down sight. Yes, use a controller.
And don't sight in.
But he explains the reasons why and goes over damage numbers and things like that. He also has a review on the Scholar. So this is the reward that you can get from the Lighthouse. So is it worth your time?
No.
He has a review of that. You say this.
He says that too. He says it's not a bad scout rifle, but in this meta with so many other weapons that'll compete against it.
Don't spoil it. Yes, but they may buff scout rifles even further.
For a future scout rifle buff, yeah, get it. Whatever.
For a future scout rifle buff, it may help.
Yeah.
Patrick Casey is back from Bungie. So he's completed his time as a games tester and he's back on DCP podcast, if anybody's listening to them. And he's now doing what he did before, weapon reviews. And he does a really good one on Tommy's Matchbook, the exotic machine gun or auto rifle that we got from the season pass, and explains how to use it and what it's good for. And I didn't realize, and I think this has been pointed out by a lot of videos and other podcasts, that it does the burn damage on you. It won't actually kill you.
Yeah, we knew that.
So it'll take you down to the red part of your shield and just won't go any further. And I believe that there was a hunter build that we featured, and I can't remember which one it is. I will go back and look. That when you get down to
I've been running.
When you stay at low health with that weapon, does it help? I'm thinking maybe pairing that up maybe a good thing.
It does. You need the mod that gives you extra charged with light charges, and then there's another mod that whenever you break your shield, you get hella resistance. And then there's another mod. I'll have to look at my hunter because
that was it. Yeah, I knew there was something, and I was thinking that would be a really good weapon to pair with it.
The only downside about that is you can't just go ham with the gun, right? You have to have like a rocket launcher or something else. You have to have a way to get that charged with the light. And the way that I use it is because I have Mountaintop, right? Not flexing, just saying I have Mountaintop, which is a really easy multi-kill weapon. So I put on the mod that when you get multi-kills with a grenade launcher, you get charges of light. So Mountaintop, charged with light, Tommy's Matchbook, go until I empty 1 or 2 magazines, and then all the light is gone. So
if I don't have a Mountaintop, what do I use?
I don't know the other mods. That's what I use.
Okay.
But you could use another grenade launcher, right? In the kinetic slot, which I think there's a couple of them. They're not really good, but you could use another grenade launcher. You could also use a heavy grenade launcher that still counts. And I don't know what other mods you can use to get charged with light. You can use finishers to get charged with light too. By the way, you can use that mod.
Yes, you can.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Dealer's choice.
Cool Guy has the Fellwinter's Helm review for the Warlocks. Now, this is the one where if you get a melee, it causes like an AoE damage explosion around them, and how this really could work in PvP. And it looks quite good. It's one of the ones I'm going to use my exotic engram on my season pass in the next couple of days and get this for my Warlock. So that's something to look forward to. Go and watch it. It's a really good video. Fallout Plays has a video on the new shotgun info, and we all know how Fallout loves a shotgun video and how he likes to do a deep dive. So I won't spoil anything. Go and watch it. Good fun. Then finally, fun things to do. A lot of our good friends, Froggy, Squirrel, have all been doing these really cool and funny things, especially Froggy. He has an Out of Bounds, Seraph Bunker EDZ, Seraph Bunker IO, and Moon for you to go and explore if you want to go and have a look at what to expect when they turn up. The EDZ one you kind of know because you've already been there, but it's quite interesting, the Out of Bounds. And then Glitch Tutorials has an out-of-map glitch for Cauldron, the PvP map. So if you want to have a look at that, that's his. And then I mentioned it earlier, Bacon Gangster has a Thunder Crash buff to Superman levels video of how he's flying around in PvP, destroying everybody.
Oh my God. In that same video, in that same video I was talking about him carrying ass across, the Titan on their team, when he activates his Superman Titan, like he makes like 2 90-degree turns in flight. I'm like, what is this insanity? Yo. Huh?
I know.
Yeah. I was just like,
it looks phenomenal.
And he's even like, I've lost him. Oh, there he is. And I was like, what? This dude has enough time to fly around, lose his target, find his target, turn 90 degrees and hit the target. That's insane, dude. I mean, I'm not happy because it's a Titan, but it looked cool. I will 100% give him credit for that. That was awesome. I just don't want it used against me. So if you see no one respawns in real life, please, for the love of God, don't hit me with that. Hit Parody, hit Night Demon. Just don't hit me.
Parody, what are the details that people need to send in for any clan submissions for recruitment? Because we haven't had any this week, so I'm just going to include the last 2 that sent information to us into our patch notes. So that was the Xbox was Saturday Morning Cartoon Kids, and the PS4 was the Ancient Magus Guardians.
Ancient Magus Guardians.
And that was Not Off and Musical Plant.
Oh, yeah,
Parody.
Who hung out with us this weekend, so thank you again. So yeah, if you have a clan and you're looking for people, and you find people, want other folks to come play with you, send us an email, hit us up on Twitter. We'll tell you at the end of the show, and we told you at the top of the show how to find us. But basically, tell us, what platform or platforms you play on, what time zones you're in, what content you're looking to do. Basically tell us what kind of people are you looking for your plan or for your clan. Are you super sweaty trials carriers? Are you raiders? Are you just looking to hang out? Are you just 2 guys looking for love? Want to find more people? Let us know. Hit us up on the show. We will try to get out to people, and hopefully they will come join you, and then you can have a thriving clan that you can wake up in the morning and go, look, people have done work for me, and now I have engrams waiting for me at the bird. So make Hawthorne happy, make yourself happy, get your engrams, and get more people in your clan. Let us know where we can point you people to, because everyone needs some love. Everyone needs some friends.
I do miss.
And speaking of love, we need love. We need some feedback. We need feedback, good or bad. Don't just keep sending it to Respawn, because Respawn just seems to filter it through to whatever he wants to hear. So send it to the email address so that Parody and I can pick it up, or tweet us. So we take any feedback, good or bad.
I didn't filter it through. I told you exactly what they told me, and that is it. Okay.
And you usually remember who tells you too, which is also useful.
No, I don't want to put anybody on blast.
But speaking of feedback, not off. We will get Respawn to respond to your email, but not on this podcast, because he seems really tired, and I want to get him at his best. And today doesn't sound like he's at his best. So when he's awake, and we do this next week, we'll tackle him with your response to your email next week.
Tackle?
Yes. Not Arth has sent a reply to you about something that you said, and he'd like to maybe get a response from you on it.
I would love a response.
But we'll tackle that when you're a bit more awake.
So I don't even get to see it right now? I have to wait?
No. It's a nice surprise.
Yeah.
It's a surprise for you. It's going to be a surprise for the listeners.
It's what we like to call a teaser. So, tune in next week to listen to Respawn get angry about something, because, wait, that's not a teaser. That happens every week. Damn.
Except this week. Oh, actually, no, you did, yeah.
Like I said, it's not really a teaser so much if it's going to come true, but yeah. No.
Yes. Sorry, it's a short podcast this week. It just, we've been enjoying the game, enjoying playing, and I get, I bet you guys have all been enjoying playing as well. So we'll leave it for this week. Maybe it'll be a bit longer next week because Respawn will have more time to play, more time to digest what he's played, and then come back and rant about things.
Rants, yay! Actually, speaking of not rant, sorry. Earlier you were saying something, and I didn't want to interrupt you because that's completely out of my character. I just didn't feel like doing it. But no, you were talking about the Seraph bunkers and this and that, and me and a couple of our clanmates on PC went and did the legendary
Lost Sector.
Thank you. Yes, and I hadn't done it yet. I've got my bunker almost completely upgraded. I'm just missing 3 things left to upgrade, and then my bunker's done. But I have all the javelins, I have all the robots, I have all the upgrades for those and all that other stuff. And we go into this thing for the first time, and I see the little platform. I'm like, huh, what does this thing do? And I click on it, and it summons the robot, and it clears that whole section. And he's like, what the hell was that? I was like, oh, it's my robot. He's like, dude, that thing was awesome. I'm like, I know, right? So those make everything so much better. If you don't have them, get them, especially if you're going to be tackling.
You say that though. Yeah, I tackled the bunker by myself. You know, you have to clear out that bunker every day. I went down and cleared everything.
The legendary lost sector, not the bunker.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the bunker.
Oh, okay.
I went down. I was clearing the bunker, and I got one of the barrier champions down. Just killed him straight out. But the other one he was that captain that just kept flicking around, and every time I was doing damage, he was moving, and it was really frustrating me. So I summoned my robot, and I thought, just deal with it. Just deal with it. And I'm just going to stand back and watch. The robot couldn't even catch him. It took me and the robot a good 5 minutes trying to pin this guy down. I was shooting him with the weapons, with the barrier stuff on it.
The robot lasted 5 minutes, honestly.
No, I had to keep disappearing and wait until the timer ran out. Then getting him to come back is like, oh. So yes, Parody, take us away.
You know, if you used a hunter and you had a tether, it would make real short work of that guy. Just saying.
Or Telesto, because Telesto fixes everything.
Damn it, I forgot.
Thank you for joining us this week. Your Titans have been Parody and Night Demon. Your Hunters, no one responds in real life. Give us your feedback, give us your clan information, and really just send us things you want to tell us at 2titansandahunter@hotmail.com. You can find us on Twitter at 2titans_hunter. You can find the show on Instagram at 2titansandahunter, all spelled out, and on Facebook at the same thing. You can look at the Frozen Clan, join the Frozen Clan page at join.frozen.party. That's Frozen with a 0, though we're getting pretty full again. So again, if you've got a clan you're trying to get people into, let us know about it. You can find all your favorite Guardians on Xbox Live and Respawn on PC and PS4. You can watch the show on YouTube, listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and everywhere fine podcasts can be downloaded. Leave us a review, tell people about the show, and again, thanks for hanging out, thanks for listening, and I leave you guys with any deep thoughts you have. Respawn and Night Demon, you want to share with the good listeners?
Yeah, if you want to play with me on PS4, you actually have to reach out to me and let me know you want to play. Because if I'm going to choose a platform, that's probably a fair point. But if I'm going to choose a platform, it's going to be Xbox or PC. So if you specifically want me to come join PlayStation, you got to let me know. Otherwise, I don't usually go there.
There you go.